Hey friends, welcome back to our channel. My name is Esther and this is Q-Est Fashion Up. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, you are welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back to watch our videos. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this crop kimono jacket. On the thumbnail, if this sounds like what you're interested in, let's do this together. So I have two pieces of fabric cut out already. So for you to know the amount of fabric you're going to be needing, you're going to be dividing your bust by 4. Add your sleeve length and add your allowance. Okay, you're going to add like 3 inches of allowance to it to know the amount of fabric you will be needing. So I already cut out the 2 pieces right here. So I want this kimono jacket to be 20 inches by the time I'm done sewing it. So I'm going to be adding 2 inches waistband to it. Okay, so I'm also going to be using 18 inches for the upper bodies. Okay, so the remaining parts I'm going to be using 18 inches and then add 2 inches to the waistline. Hope that is clear. So I'm marking my half length first, which is 16, and then I mark the full length of the jacket, which is 18, and I added half an inch to it. So I'm just going to connect all the points together. So my half length 16 inches, I marked it first, and I marked 18 inches for the full length, and I added half an inch to it. So now I'm going to divide my back by 2, which is 7 inches. The back is 14, and then divided by 2 is 7 inches. So now for the sleeve length, I want to use the sleeve length of 8 inches. Okay, so now I'm going to be marking 8 inches after the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Now I'm taking my sleeve length, which is 8 inches. Okay, so remember that this jacket has a turnover sleeve. Okay, it has a turnover sleeve, so just keep watching. You will see how I'm going to do that. So now I'm going to go down by, I want my sleeve opening to be 7 inches. Okay, I'm going to be adding 1 inch for the seam allowance. Okay, and then I'm also going to be adding extra half an inch. Okay, making it 8.5 inches. I hope that is clear. I'm using 7 inches for the sleeve opening, which is my round sleeve is 14 divided by 2 is 7. I'm adding 1 inch for the seam allowance, and then half an inch because I'm going to be joining the shoulder by half an inch. I hope that is clear. So I'm marking 8.5 in total. So I'm just going to mark it like so. So just take your measurements and know what you're going to be using. Okay, now at that point I'm going to divide the bust by 4. I'm dividing my bust by 4. Okay, so I'm working with a bust of 33. So I divided the 33 by 4, and then I marked it there. I added 1 inch for ease allowance and 1 inch for seam allowance. Okay, I hope that is clear. This jacket is not meant to be 100% fitted. Okay, you're going to be adding ease allowance to it. Okay, so now moving to the waistline, you're going to divide your waist by 4. Okay, and mark it there, and then you're going to also add 1 inch for ease allowance and 1 inch for seam allowance. Hope that is clear. So whatever you have at that waistline, you're going to impute it at the length of the top. Okay, can you see the total length where the M line, let me call it the M line for now. So you're going to impute whatever you have at your waistline and then impute it the same measurement at the M line. Okay, so now from that point, from the bust, I connected it to the waist, from the waist to the M line. Okay, can you see? Now connecting, now you're going to be creating a curve at that sleeve, because that part is not meant to be straight. You can use your free hand, or from that point you mark 1 inch and then just connect a curve downward. I hope that is, you're going to connect the sleeve to the bodice. Okay, I hope that is clear. So just connect it like so. Now at the sleeve, so that is the sleeve, you can just draw a straight line like that, like you can see me do. But for me, I'm not going to be making it straight, okay, so that it sits properly. You're going to take away half an inch from that point. I hope it is clear. Take away half an inch and just slant it down. So now moving to the neckline. For the back neckline, I'm going to be doing 3 inches by 1 inch, 3 inches width and 1 inch depth, okay. And then I take 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So I'm connecting the shoulder slope to meet with the neckline. Hope that is clear, guys. If you don't understand anything, you can drop a question for me on the comment section, okay. I will respond to those questions, okay. So I'm going to cut the neckline and then just cut the side like you can see me do. Can you see the curve I was talking about? Okay, now after that, I'm going to now cut that part. That is the part I was saying it's not going to be straight. Can you see that it's a little bit slant? Yeah, I mean the sleeve opening. Now for the shoulder slope, remember we did not add any allowance to the up, so I'm going to add a little bit of allowance. I'm not going to cut directly on the line I marked. I'm going to add a little bit of allowance to it, okay. Now once we are done, just go ahead and separate the back from the front. We're still going to modify the front neckline, okay. So now coming to the chest line, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches. At the waistline, I'm going to also mark 1.5 inches, and also at the hem line I'll mark 1.5 inches, and I will connect it into a straight line. But if you're a plus size, you can mark 2 inches, okay. So I'm making this cloth for a small size, I think a medium size, yeah. So I'm using 1.5. if you're a plus size, you can use 2 inches, okay. Now from that point, you're just going to connect into the neckline like you can see me do on the screen. So after that, just go ahead and cut out that part. So once you're done cutting, you're going to be having something looking like this, okay. It's going to be looking like this, okay. Now the next thing you're going to do is to start stitching. You're going to place right side facing right side like this, and you're going to go ahead and join the shoulders, okay. You join the 2 shoulders. So at this point, I was done joining the shoulders and also iron it down. Now the next thing you're going to do is to measure the opening, that part. Yes, go ahead and measure it from one end to the other. Just measure it around, and then this is what you're going to be using to cut the band for that part. You can call it collar or band. Now for the band I'm using, it is 4 inches. When you fold this, it is 2 inches on fold, but when you open it up, it is 4 inches. Okay, so the reason I'm using 4 inches is I subtracted 1.5 inches when I was cutting, right? And then I'm adding half an inch for seam allowance. So if you subtracted 2 inches from it, when you are cutting, you're supposed to cut 2.5 inches for that band, okay. Now you're going to be using 2 inches to replace what you cut as, and then half an inch for the sewing allowance, and then whatever you have around that part is what you're going to use to cut the length of what you'll be needing. I hope that is clear. Now notch the middle of the band, and also notch the middle of the main bodies, and then pin it and join it all the way. So at this point, I was done joining it all the way, okay. So I already joined the band at this point. Now moving to the sleeve, we're going to be doing a turnover sleeve. Now for the sleeve, I'm using 2 inches of fold. When you open it up, it's going to be 4 inches. Now measure around what you have around that place. That is what you're going to use to cut the sleeve. Now you're going to place it right side facing wrong side, stitch it, and then flip it over to the right side. Hope that is clear. You're going to face it to the wrong side facing right side, and then you flip it, you sew it, and then flip it over. So at this point, I was done stitching it, and this is how it's looking. Now you're going to measure around what you have at that waist, okay. So whatever you have, multiply it by 3, okay. The least you can do is to multiply it by 2.5, okay. So I multiplied whatever I had there by 3, okay. So That's what will give you the length. And then remember I said I'm going to be adding 2 inches waistband. Okay, now you are going to be adding your seam allowance to it. So the width of that waistband is 5 inches. When you fold this, it will give you 2 inches. Okay, so at this point you can decide to slant that part of the band, but according to the picture we are recreating, they didn't slant it, so you can leave it that way. But if you want to slant, you can slant. Now measure what you have around that waist and then fold your body into 2 like this. Now measure what you have and create a notch. So that part will be the part that will go around the waist region. Okay, now for the remaining part, you're going to fold it into 2 and stitch all the way and stop at the notch. You will stitch all the way and stop at that notch, and you do the same thing to the second part. After that, now place it this way, right side facing right side, and you will stitch all the way around. Okay, hope that is clear. So at this point I was done stitching, and this is the final look. And I also top stitch on the seam allowance so that it doesn't flip. Please subscribe, like and share. Don't stop learning, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.